Make It Nice, a little YouTube about crafting and reality TV. I'm Hayley.
I'm Katie.
We don't really have our intros down yet, so that's what our intro is going to be for now. But
Yeah.
welcome to episode 1 of Make It Nice.
Making it nice.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Let's start out with some things that we're making. Katie, what have you been crafting lately?
Okay, so I was thinking about it and I was like, what am I crafting? And I was like, oh, well, I'm cultivating space or a yoga practice and I'm crafting a healthy mindset for the new year. And then I was like, I need to get off inspirational Instagram. What I need to be doing. But so I am doing those things, but also this whole practice of incorporating crafting into my life has brought me to dig out my sketch pad.
Oh my gosh, so very exciting.
Is just plants.
Wait, did you draw all those?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's beautiful. Oh my god. Those are so nice.
I'm an artiste.
Oh my god, I love them. They're so good.
You know what? I will draw you one and I'll put it in a pretty frame and you can add it to your gallery.
Oh my gosh, I'll put it right up here.
Okay. If anyone can hear, I think my fiance is trying to leave the apartment without making a lot of noise. So just like our cats, Brian will also be making weird cameos. We're okay with it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Bye, Brian.
So I am sketching.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so exciting. Tell me about your sketching process. Like, what time of day have you been doing it? What is your inspiration? Yeah. I mean, obviously plants, but anything else? And what do you think about when you're doing it? Welcome to Therapy with Hayley.
I like this. I think art therapy is the best kind of therapy, even though I've done no therapy. So I mostly sketch like early afternoon. Usually on weekends, actually. I need to be better about like finding creative time for myself during the weekdays as well. But I mostly just like plants, and I have taken up drawing plants as a way to stop buying them. And it doesn't work, I will say. Yes. And usually when I am drawing, I am thinking about how I wish I was doing this in pencil because pen is so permanent. And
you're drawing them in pen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at you, real professional.
I actually have a fancy like artist pen that I got at Michael's and it was really exciting.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but it's basically like a fine point Sharpie. It just makes me feel very official to have like supplies.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I've been drawing and then also like crafting a healthy mindset for 2021. What about you? What are you making? What beautiful thing are you creating these days?
Well, I have not created any time to craft new vibes for 2021. I have a very, very nice planner that I bought that I haven't opened yet, but you just reminded me that I bought it and it's sitting on my bookshelf with my school books and I should probably open it because there are a lot of like prompts and things in there about like setting goals, which I am trying to be better at because I don't do that, but it's probably like a good thing to do.
Yes, goals are nice. I like to think of them as intentions because then when you don't succeed in them, it's okay because you intended to do it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I will keep that in mind as I am thinking about trying to remind myself to open my 2021 planner.
thinking about goal setting.
Yes. This is not craft related, this just reminded me, but every year I donate to St. Lawrence so I can get a free calendar. and I didn't get a calendar this year because I think I forgot to donate. And
Wait, they don't send you a calendar just being an alumni?
No, you have to donate to get the calendar, which I learned a few years ago because I forgot to donate.
Wait,
And
I got a
didn't get
calendar.
Where's my
I got a calendar and I didn't donate.
I hope they didn't.
Haley, I'll just start sending you my calendars because I recycle them. I'm a bad alum.
Shut up.
I get the pretty WWF calendars with all the animals on them.
Okay, that's fair. But if I don't get the St. Lawrence calendar, I don't have a calendar because I don't buy calendars.
I will find someone at the office to send you one. Yeah.
Can you send me a calendar, please?
Yes.
Because I forgot to donate to St. Lawrence. Or if they send you one just for nothing, I really hope they didn't send it to Toronto. I don't think they have my Toronto address, but I really fear that they may have.
They somehow always have your current address.
I know. I don't think I ever changed it to Toronto, but I can't remember.
Yeah. No, I definitely have never given St. Lawrence $1, and they send me a calendar every year. And the beautiful magazines.
Yes, I definitely get the magazines, but I donate like $5 to $10 when like the little kids call me. And by little kids, I mean like 19-year-olds.
I used to do that for career services when I would like worked in the office. I had to do those calls.
Oh, no, I ignore the career services people, but I pick up for the Calling All Saints. And I donate $5 to $10 once a year so that I get the calendar. But I guess I didn't this year. I don't know.
We need to, you know what? We will wait. I met the St. Lawrence development lady at a conference last year. Let me see if I have her card and you can email her.
Send me a calendar, please.
Please.
I'm poor. I need a calendar.
Help me, I'm poor.
Oh, life is so hard.
So what are you crafting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I should not have my phone here, but I did just get a notification that a yarn order that I placed has been shipped. So that's exciting. What am I crafting? Let's see. I have one thing that I'm going to work on while we are chatting because it's easy and I don't have to think about it, but I do want to show you this because it's really pretty. And it's on really small needles, so it's going to look in really strange, but I'm knitting the Pixie Tank by Lovely by Lee, and I tested this pattern for her like over the summer-ish, I think, late summer. I don't know. I was back in New York, so late summer. But I'm knitting it for one of my friends now, and look how pretty this yarn is.
Oh my God.
Okay, the color of the video is not great, but it's like variegated, like indigo and blue and navy. It's so pretty.
And
like
your stitches are gorgeous.
Thank you. I've knit this before, and I'll like add a link in I don't know what the YouTube people say, link in the description.
Yeah, that sounds good. I just know link in bio.
I know, I was about to say link in bio, but like this isn't Instagram.
Everything will be Instagram once Mark Zuckerberg takes over.
Oh God, die. Okay, so it has this really pretty lace panel. It's like a they look like leaves. I forgot what it's like a trellis design. That's what she calls it.
Oh,
and it's just like I just have 2 like half leaves right now, but this is gonna be so beautiful. I'm so jealous. It's one of those ones, I mean, I think about this for every single thing I knit, but it's one of those things where like I wish I could just keep it for myself and not send it to my friend. But it's beautiful. This is the yarn that I'm using. It's Neighborhood Fiber Co., which is in Baltimore. But oh my God.
They sell that at Fiber Space in Old Town, where I took my knitting lessons all those years ago.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Buy local yarn, people.
I know I haven't, I mean, not that I'm going into any places around here anyway, but I haven't been to any yarn stores like around Albany, and I don't even know where any are. I think there's one like in Altamont, which is kind of
Yeah.
near here. And then my sister has bought me stuff from a yarn store in Chatham, New
Hmm.
York, which is like an hour away from here. But I don't know if there are any like in Albany. It's super weird. Or I could go up to Saratoga, but
Or you could check Bennington too. I bet Vermont has plenty of fiber works.
oh, for sure. Yeah, there are definitely like a ton of fiber like yarn stores around like in the area.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's one like in all like I can't imagine that there's
Yeah.
not one like in Albany or Troy. Like it's a city.
They've got like 3 Popeyes, as I know from trying to
Wait,
convince
stop.
Brian to move to Albany.
Okay, cool. So did I even share what yeah, okay. I shared that. I'm also back on track. I'm like looking at our schedule or not our schedule. Katie and I made a Google Doc like 2 hours ago to discuss.
Like, oh yeah, wait, we're doing this. We should have a list or something.
Yeah. So what else am I making? I have a few other things on my needs. That means needles in abbreviations.
What? Your needs?
I don't know why I said that. I just made that up right now. Uh, anyway.
Oh wait, I have my Hayley original right here.
Oh my gosh, wow.
I bought this hat from Hayley it was a women's international craft festival that I helped her table at in Silver Spring like 3 years ago. And she was like, I really wanted to sell everything. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy this hat then. And I bought it. And I love it.
Still have it. Wow. I think that was the first market I ever did.
Oh my gosh. Aww. Yes, I wear this when I go on my walks in the morning.
Oh, that makes me feel so happy.
I'm so glad. That was not planned. It was just right here.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Clearly thought so far ahead.
I'm also knitting these socks for my dad that were supposed to be for Christmas, but it's January 6th. But I'm not using a pattern or anything. I'm just knitting them. But I'm using paint box sock yarn, which I haven't used before, but I love it. I think this is called like newsprint or something, but it's so
I like that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna I got 2 skeins of it, so I'm just gonna knit myself a pair in it after.
Nice. Maybe through this crafting and talking process, you can actually teach me how to knit something other than a scarf.
Oh my god, I would I would love that so much.
We'll do it.
Wow. Okay, great. Thanks for that nice little moment of silence for learning how to knit and stuff. I am hungry, but we should talk about The Bachelor.
Ooh. Should we? Yes. Will we? Of course. What am I saying? I don't know. So Bachelor. Guys, Bachelor's great. It's terrible. It's great. It's horrible. It's fun. You know, it's all of the things in one. What was like your favorite moment from this episode?
Well, first of all, my favorite moment of this episode that we're doing right now is that nice little poem that you just made. I don't remember it now, but it rhymed and I liked it. Now let's look at my notes for the
I have my own notebook for this.
Oh, yours is pretty.
Thanks, Dad. It was a Christmas present.
Oh, that's so nice.
What was your favorite moment, Hayley?
Yeah, what's my favorite moment? What's my favorite moment? I'm trying to look at my notes and I can't read them. Okay, so first of all, I think my favorite moment was Anna's confessional, I think before she even like came out of the limo, and she was like going on a whirlwind about like how much caffeine she was drinking, and then like she was so nervous that she got a rash, and I was like, what is going on here? But I like it. I thought that was really
so
funny.
seen by that moment.
I know, me too. She was like, maybe I drink too much caffeine. I mean, I had a lot of caffeine, but should I drink more caffeine? And I'm like, girl.
This is my internal monologue every day. Like, oh, my head hurts. I must need more caffeine. I couldn't possibly need water or food or a nap. I need more coffee.
I know. I mean, we just had this conversation before this. We started this call at noon, and I was sitting here drinking coffee, and you took a sip of water, and I was like, what is that clear liquid that I should be drinking that I haven't had a sip of all day? Because all I've been drinking is coffee.
I am forcing myself. So I've decided one of my crafting a healthier 2021 things will be stopping like after 1 cup of coffee and then having tea, either decaffeinated or not. That's the goal that I'm going to try to do. But I also have a massive French press. It's literally a 4-cup French press. Hayley, I don't know. Okay, so your favorite moment was Anna's like caffeine crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
What was your favorite?
I think there were a lot of them, I'm gonna be honest. But I think it was the opening moment. Oh my God, sorry. Wow. The opening moment of the whole show, which was totally unlike anything else. Usually all of the premieres start with Chris Harrison in front of, you know, whatever resort or the mansion or whatever.
I was so confused. I was like, did I like skip 10 minutes?
I was like, did I record this wrong or something? And I was like, wait, I'm watching it live. This has to be it. Yeah, opening scene. This beautiful woman in a silvery dress with the name Katie, doing us proud, shows up, and she like has like her hands behind her back and she goes, hi, it's so great to meet you. I'm Katie. And they like do the little pleasantries. And she's like, well, you know, I really wanted to bring something that's been helping me get through quarantine. And I really wanted to share it with you. And he's like, oh, wow, yeah. And he's, you know, running through his mind are the possibilities of what this could be. And she whips out this like foot-long purple vibrator. And he cracks up. At one point, he calls it a lightsaber. Hilarious. Think that was the best moment of the whole franchise, actually. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that one.
And I think that probably holds some weight because you've seen a lot of.
Yeah, I think the only other moment that comes close is Caitlin Bristow on Chris Soules' season. She walks out in the limo and walks up to him, and she goes, he was a farmer or something, and she says something along the lines of, I'd let you plow the fuck out of my fields.
What?
Yup. And I remember like peeing myself in my dorm room, laughing so hard. I love it when women are vulgar. I think it's great. I really we love a sex positive gal. There's nothing more to say than that.
This is very true.
Such a good moment. And then like for the rest of the night, there's just like this vibrator hanging around.
Okay, can I also say when it was first happening, I was so confused because I didn't, until they said what it was, I didn't know what it was because
they blurred it out.
Yeah, but they didn't blur it out. They put a black box over it. And I was like, what is that? Why is she giving him like a box with like a handle on it?
Like a purple knob on it.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Like, what significance does that have to her in her life?
Yeah.
And then they said the word vibrator, and I was like, oh, they're blocking it out.
You know what? So there's a scene like later in the episode when like all of the girls or the women are in the mansion, and she like sets it on a table, like standing up like this. And you know what that reminded me of? Reminded me of Real Housewives of Potomac when they're in Spain. They do the dominatrix party, and there's just like purple dildos all over the place. And they had to do the same thing, the black boxes.
Yeah.
And it's just like black boxes all over the place, or like the eggplant emoji, which I love because
God,
they're
that
both
was
purple.
so funny. That was so funny.
So yeah, it was just a great moment, I think, for ladies everywhere. Although I will say, and this did annoy me, is I can't remember her name. Someone was real, maybe I wrote it down. One of the ladies, all I wrote down is big difference between dildo and vibrator. Not helpful. One of the ladies kept calling the vibrator a dildo.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not what that is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're going to be snooty to someone, like, be snooty and correct at the same time.
Right.
Like, don't comment someone incorrectly.
I know. I noticed that too. And she said it more than once too.
Yeah.
Like, honey.
I tweeted about this. That is how upset I got. I was like, can we just, we're going to be sex positive. That's what we're going to do. Can we use the correct terminology, please? Like when everybody calls their vulva their vagina, like, no, the vagina is the inside part. The vulva is the exterior. Rant over.
Biology lesson with Katie.
Also, plug, if you haven't read Dr. Jen Gunter's The Vagina Bible and have a vagina, you should read it. It's great.
I have not read that. I don't have a pen. Is it on your Goodreads?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it.
Every other book ever written.
Okay. Great. Wow.
Yeah. That was a lot of feelings about sex toys.
Yeah.
More than I anticipated having.
Well,
in The Bachelor.
It's important. Also, this is getting a bit off topic. Well, not really, because it's still on the topic. But one, when Matt got distracted by the vibrator after his prayer, I died because that was funny. But two,
juxtaposition.
yes. Second point, which we have already debriefed on. I don't know if we want to go into this even more, but can we like not impose religion on other people? Because that was like yikes.
The Bachelor has this problem that it thinks it's solving by having more ethnically and racially diverse cast members, where it is a show for white Christian people to find love. Like, and they've focused on diversity in terms of like physical appearance, but have not focused on like diversity of thought. Or like, and you can't even say like physical appearance, because I've never seen anyone on the show over a size 6, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Which is disgusting because everybody deserves love and everybody has love, and picturing like, or modeling that like this true fairy tale only happens between like, you know, phototypically perfect, beautiful people is annoying. And like, I applaud, I'm not going to say I applaud them because I don't, but I am grateful that they heard the fans saying, you know, we want a more diverse cast and we want leads of color, but like, where is our gay bachelor or bachelorette or bisexual or like something? There's been like a couple bisexual contestants in the last couple of years, like Demi came out on Paradise was that last year? Year before. It's a flat circle. I truly don't know when anything has happened, but
not this past year, the year before, I think.
Yeah, and she wasn't the first. I'm remembering someone else on maybe Ari's season who was bisexual, but they didn't like play it up or anything. Like, what is going on with, and like going back to the prayer, like if you're going to talk about wanting to change your show and like appeal to a broader audience, and like, why start with a prayer? I don't know. How do you feel? I just talked a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you just said. I also haven't been watching the show for that long, so I mean it's very apparent how like white Christian and like kind of Southern the show is too. Which is just like a really interesting demographic, because I feel like the people who watch it are probably than, I mean, I don't fall into that really. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what like the demographic of the audience is. But yeah, I agree. I think like it's so I think especially like this year, people have been putting more emphasis on like diversity without really trying to understand how to be
Yeah.
more inclusive and like understand like what diversity really means and
Mhm.
how, I mean, like what you said, diversity of thought, diversity of like sexuality, like there are so many different components to a person other than what they look like. And I think it's really important to like turn on a TV and see people
Yeah.
that look like you, which like is kind of bullshit for like me as a white woman to say.
Yeah.
But I think I also get uncomfortable when people like impose their religion on others. And I mean, personally, I come from a religious family. I grew up with religion. I'm comfortable with my own religion, but I would never like force other people to like pray with me if they didn't feel comfortable, or I would ask first. And I know that it wasn't like the situation wasn't like here I am forcing you to pray with me, but like they're on a TV show, they're going to do what he says. Like,
Right.
and it was just making the assumption that everyone in the room was Christian and everyone in the room was one, praying to the same God, two, believed in a God, and three, like was comfortable conforming to that on like
Yeah.
national television. And it just made me uncomfortable and I didn't like it.
Yeah. And like, I understand, like, I've seen some of the conversations on social media about this. And people are making the point of, well, you know, this is his show, this is his journey. You know, if he wants to lead the group in prayer, like, if that's something that's important to him, then he has the right to include it. And I don't disagree with that, but there was no point in which there was a conversation about it, like you said.
Mhm.
And the power dynamics of the lead on the first night, and knowing that how many girls are going to go home, are you going to be that first person who doesn't feel comfortable bowing your head and praying? Like, is that going to single you out? Is that unfair to people who are uncomfortable? And I think that is more of a valid point than it's his show, he gets to kind of make the rules.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because it really is about the power balance in there too. Because yeah, he has all the power because it's his show, but he still has to like, I mean, that's like an important conversation to have. Like, if it's that important to you, you're gonna
Yeah.
make it a conversation and you're gonna like talk to someone about like, oh, how do you feel about religion? Rather than like, this is what I believe and you're gonna do it too because I
Right.
have all the power here. It just like was,
It was kind of, for me, it felt kind of icky.
yeah, same.
And it brought up memories of the not so distant past when Ivan was sent home because he had different religious beliefs than Tasha, who
Mm,
wanted to have a very, from my understanding, like a Christian relationship and family and upbringing. And that was really important to her based on how she had grown up.
mhm.
And I think that that's fine if someone wants to make a decision and end a relationship on that, because everybody gets to make their own choices about who they're with and how they worship or don't with their partner and then with their family. Like, that's totally individual, and never would judge someone for their decisions on that. But the conversation around it was really telling, I think, because it was just assumed, it was assumed that it was because I lost my train of thought. Ah, Tisha like was very open about her religion in a way that is great, but played into the existing narrative of the Bachelor like cinematic universe. You
Mhm.
know, like, and to think that, like, you know, Ivan was kind of like a victim of that narrative, like once he left the show, as
Mhm.
opposed to starting a dialogue about like these are important things for people in relationships, and like these are the kinds of conversations that are happening in this process. It like, instead of creating more legitimacy for the process of the show, I think it just reinforced how narrow minded it can be, because we could have had really cool conversations about like fantasy suites. You're talking about faith, you're not just fucking, you
Yeah.
know? Like that to me, as a fan who's looking to believe in these stories, these couples that come out at the end of it, like I would have really liked to see some sort of exploration of that. And maybe it's because we didn't have an after the final rose, like maybe they could have used like that kind of setting to have a conversation like that. I just felt like it was just this prayer coupled on top of the last season of The Bachelorette, like kind of a bungling of what could have been a really cool and inclusive opportunity to kind of create a better environment for contestants now and in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my
I totally agree. And I think that's a really good kind of like point to make as like an overview of how you and I sort of watch reality TV as a whole, because I think it's sort of easy to, and I mean, this is also me trying to like defend why I watch trash television.
yes.
But it like I have such little faith in like producers and creators of these shows to like have conversations like this. I mean, I think like I know you're like super behind on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I love everything that like Portia is doing and everything that she has done to like bring really important dialogues about like Breonna Taylor and Black Lives Matter to this really important like this in platform that she has. Um, but I think like watching shows like The Bachelor or The Real Housewives, like we need to hold I want to be able to hold creators and like the people on these shows accountable to have these conversations, but I don't think they will. So like at this
Yeah.
point it's up to us to like have these conversations about like, yeah, I'm watching this trash television and like it's really problematic, but it's up to me to like think about these issues and how they could be doing it better and to like talk to other people about it, because like just taking it in for what it is like not helpful and like is problematic too. And not that like us sitting here in our living rooms talking about like how religion is portrayed on The Bachelor is like really making that much of a difference, but like it's like making a difference in our minds. I don't know, I just think like these conversations are important
Yeah.
to have because the shows are hella problematic.
Yeah.
And it's important to acknowledge that.
And it's really interesting that you made the connection to Portia and Real Housewives of Atlanta, because that brings me back to another moment in this episode that was a little cringy, which was Matt sitting down with Chris Harrison at the beginning to talk about being the first Black Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a cool moment for them to bring in the other men of color who have been made famous by this franchise to have a conversation like amongst Black men about what it means to be on this show and not be white and from Iowa. Like, what a concept. And instead, it turned into this afternoon special moderated by Chris Harrison that was, I mean, I feel terrible for Matt because he basically had to explain in white terms, like translate his own thinking into accessible language for white viewers who are the bulk of the demographic. What it is, to find love or like be in a relationship with a Black woman versus a white woman and how people react to that. And it felt like instead of being a real conversation about race or what I would have hoped to have similar to the religion discussion, it was this like sanitized, really moderated, narrow discussion that basically seemed trying for like to prepare viewers that there was going to be an interracial couple at the end of this. It just was, I don't know. I'm clearly by no means an expert in, I don't know, racism, and I am a white woman who is very insulated from almost everything in this world, and I accept that. But if I can notice that, then I know that the Black viewers or, Latina viewers or Asian or Hispanic viewers who are watching noticed it too.
Yeah, I think it was just really like, I mean, like you said, a conversation that could have been way more nuanced and like, well, not a conversation that was more nuanced, but a conversation that
Like
I
a conversation, and
yeah, that like dug a bit deeper into the nuances
instead of like
of
an
identity
interview.
and
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah, exactly. And then it ended with Chris Harrison being like, "Well, just follow your heart. Just like do what you feel like doing." And it's like, what?
Yeah, like we had a chance to bring Mike Johnson back onto our TV sets and we
Oh.
missed it. We missed it, guys. He doesn't make an appearance at some point during this season. I'm gonna have to seriously think about applying to be a producer on this show. I don't know. Maybe it's time to take my talents from the YouTube to the world.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's what we're doing this YouTube for, so we can become
An audition.
reality TV show producers. So,
Yeah.
duh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I love the idea of Matt making Chris Harrison work for his money, because Chris is like 2 steps out the door. Like, he is almost gone from this franchise, which is fine. Like, we could use a little fresh blood in there, but like, he was like, no, we're sitting down and we're having this conversation. And I love seeing Chris Harrison have to do something, honestly.
Yeah.
He's great.
Fair. Yeah, I agree.
So another part of Bachelor, which we haven't mentioned yet,
Mhm.
is the fantasy league that Brian and I run annually.
Okay, Katie, explain what Fantasy League is.
Okay. So it's gone through a couple of iterations since we originally started doing it. But what it has become is this group of like a dozen or so friends, and we all pick a team of 4 contestants, one of which to win the final rose, and we see who makes it and who has the best predictions. Between us and the, like I said, 4 people who watch this video, I am a 2-time reigning champion. I have an excellent record. Hayley is rolling her eyes because the first year that she ever played, she lost her entire team within the first 2 episodes. An iconic first start.
I'm really bad at this.
But so Brian and I run this league, and we don't do all those like crazy nitpicky like rules where it's like, whenever somebody jumps into the pool, they get 5 points, or they say they're not here for the right reasons, it's 10 points. We don't do that. We like to enjoy the show. So all of our point values are based off of roses with differing values for each rose. Like the first impression rose gets a lot of points. The final rose gets a ton of points. So that's how we run it, and it's a lot of fun. And I've got to say, my winner for this year, guys, I'm gonna win. It's Abigail. She's great.
I think she is gonna win. I hate to admit it, but that was a great pick. And that moment when he gave the first impression rose and they were chatting and she was talking and he just kissed her, I was like, oh my God.
I was literally sitting on my couch, and like, she's like talking,
This a
and the
rom-com?
camera is like focusing on his face a little more. I was like, he wants to kiss her. He's gonna kiss her. And then he kissed her, and I was like, ooh, mama's getting all the
I
points.
know. I feel sad for the league, but happy for them.
Another thing that becomes really clear to me when I watch the show is how individual it is. Because like I always try to put myself in the contestant's position, and it's like, okay, so you're seeing them night 1 for a couple of seconds. That's like a hi, how are you, basics of your life. You get a rose. Then the next time you're probably on a group date, and it's like you get maybe a little bit deeper. And that just seems really weird to me. I don't know. The more I think about the show, the more fucked up I think it is. It's like, because you're creating this whole relationship in your mind based on like 2 or 3 experiences with someone, and you don't really get to know the other person until you're way down the line. But the environment is so closed, and you spend all of your time thinking about this one person, that you can convince yourself really easily that you're in love with them. And that is weird.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. And I think the other thing that like I think became clearer to me in the last season, I guess just because I was watching it closer, but like it's also like when you're dating one person, like not on The Bachelor, things just come up. And we've talked about this before, but things just come up organically, like maybe in the beginning of the relationship, maybe when you've been in it for a little while, but like things come up, you're not like forced to talk about things.
Mhm.
But on this show, it's like you're crafting the narrative that you want this other person to know about you. So you're choosing when you want to tell these things and how you want to tell them and how you want to frame them.
Yeah.
And it's, but which, like, sounds sort of empowering, but I think it's really just super exploitative because the star of the show is always like, "Go deeper. Tell me everything about you. I need connection. I need to know who you really are." And then it just causes people to, talk about their trauma as if it's nothing. Like, we talked about this a lot, but, like, Ben last season, he shared some really, really intense stuff, and there was no conversation about it. He just shared this like these really, really like traumatic, like intense inner dialogues and like experiences.
Yeah.
And Tasha was just like, okay, wow, thanks for sharing. And like, I can't, like, if I would, that would mess me up. Like, if I felt like I had to share traumatic experiences like that, and like couldn't go and like talk to them for a few more hours about it, or like come back and debrief with them about it, or like go back and like talk to my therapist about it, like I
Right.
would be like that would be really, really difficult, and it just seems really unhealthy, honestly.
Yeah. Like when you're talking about traumatic experiences, like you can't do that with someone you just met. So
Yeah.
at least, I mean, I won't speak for every person everywhere. Like I didn't tell Brian all of my deep, darkest secrets and all of the pain in my life, like on our first date.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. But this show and the way that it's structured reinforces like this like terrible idea of like being rewarded for being vulnerable when the vulnerability is actually a symptom of a larger issue. Like because like if you're sharing all of these like really intense things that have happened to you and you're just like putting it out there, like maybe you're oversharing or maybe you're not communicating in a healthy way, and it's like reinforcing these other like unhealthy habits in relationships, but it's rewarding that experience. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to confess to you my eating disorder and I'm just going to drop it on you and I'm not going to worry about how it affected you or if it's triggering you or how you're receiving this information or how I'm feeling giving you this information. It's just like it's rewarding the transparency without any sort of responsibility. It's like,
Yeah.
what is the point of that?
I don't know, because it's just, yeah, it's not even like it's not a conversation, and who knows, maybe they are having longer conversations about it, and they cut all this stuff, and they are, like,
Yeah, that's true.
debriefing about it or something, perhaps, I don't know, but it just, by what they show, and, I mean, even if they are having more, like, discussion about these things that people are sharing and they're not showing it on TV, I really hope people aren't like, "Oh, maybe I should just like people want to know all of my trauma without like me having to explain it." And I don't know, it's just like a really I mean, if that's what, again, I don't want to speak for everyone,
Yeah.
but I just can imagine it being like a really unhealthy way to communicate the things that like are really complex inside your brain that could cause other people to have like a really intense reaction and complex thoughts. And if you don't like dig deeper into that and you're just like plopping out stuff, then it's just a false sense of like trust and vulnerability that
Yeah.
isn't, like you said, it's not creating a basis of like effective communication.
No. And then it's like, I wonder how much of this plays into the fact that not a lot of these relationships last outside of
Oh,
this
for
environment.
sure. Yeah,
You
for
know, because it's like you're building, you have this deep sense of trust with someone, but there's no foundation for it. So when you are faced with a problem in the real world, or you're faced with just the fame of being who you are outside of the really insulated universe of filming, like if you don't have that base to deal with that, you're not going to last. So
yeah.
it's like, I don't know, man. I also like I'm worried that this franchise is going to make, because they've already done it with Rachel Lindsay, they're going to make Matt be the spokesperson to America about race. And man, I just want him to live his life as like a J. Crew model running around New York City and making kids do burpees and being a real estate broker. What's a real estate broker? Did I tell you? Okay, do you remember Kit, the contestant, the really young one who's still in college? I tell you that she's Cynthia Rowley's daughter, the designer.
What?
Yes.
Is that why her little thing is fashion entrepreneur?
Probably.
Okay, but can I say one thing really quickly? When you said, do you remember Kit? I was like, why are we talking about American Girl dolls?
Kind of looks like Kit, the American Girl doll.
Yeah, that girl looks like the Kit American Girl doll, though.
Also, I want to just make the point that I don't know how this popped into my brain because we weren't talking about it at all, but she looks, I wrote it down. She looks like Jenny from Gossip Girl when she goes pixie goth.
Yeah.
And also, if you are Cynthia Rowley's daughter, you do not show up to The Bachelor wearing a pink tutu dress and black combat boots. And what was the big flower happening here?
I think it was feathers. Was it like a feather dress? It's fashionable. It's fashionable. Yeah.
Hayley, what?
It's fashion.
Okay. I realize I am not like a scion of fashion as I sit here in my REI Better sweater. But what was that?
I don't know.
Also, she's 21 and still lives with her parents. She shouldn't be on the show.
But she lives in New York City, and so does Matt.
We should talk about who's on our team. So we all know that I have the future winner, Mrs. James.
Okay, so
or Mrs. hyphen James, Abigail, whatever. Or she won't take his name at all, and that's fine. I am a modern woman. So whatever. I'm gonna, if it looks like I'm distracted right now, it's because I'm pulling up our spreadsheet and I'm gonna tell all of America, aka the two people that watch the show, other than me and I, notice each time the number gets smaller. Well, who was on Hayley's team?
The video is getting longer, so the viewers are getting smaller.
Dwindling. They heard us talking about race and they were like, two white people talking about race. I'm out. Honestly, fair. Who does Hayley have on her team?
I wrote that down in my notes.
Oh.
And okay. Wait, can I read you my notes of the people on my okay. I wrote down my list of people on my draft, like on my fantasy team. And something that they did that would make me remember them. Did it?
Okay.
Okay. The first person was Ileana, and I wrote, Ileana, balls in mouth. What the hell?
Oh yeah, the giant meatball.
She was the giant meatball. Yeah. Ew. And I stand by that. What the hell? Gross. No one likes that. Stop. My second pick is Brie. And I wrote, this is so mean. I wrote cute dress because she had a green dress. It was actually really cute.
Oh yeah.
And then I wrote boring, not memorable. But then that must have been her.
She had that moment where she talked about being Persian.
Yeah. And then I wrote Persian and black. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they had like a cool conversation about mixed race and stuff. So I think she seems cool.
She's also on my team.
Okay, whatever. The next one I put is Kristen. And I wrote, yikes, the jury is in. Because
wait, you have Kristen on your team?
I think. Do I not?
So. No.
I don't? What the heck?
You have, oh wait, yeah, you do. Never mind, I lied.
Bitch, listen, I wrote it in my notes, so it's true.
I also have Kristen on my team.
Yeah, I wrote down the jury is in quotes so that I could remember her opening line, but I forget it. That does not remind me.
That would be a good housewives tag too. The jury is in and you're, I don't know, something. I don't know.
And
I gotta work on it.
Guilty for being a bitch.
Yes. Wait, one of our intros should be us doing our housewives intro.
No, because I don't know what mine is. That question gives me like the
Anxiety.
most anxiety
Yes.
because I feel like I should know that about myself, and I feel guilty for calling myself a housewives like connoisseur and not knowing what
Not having one.
not knowing what my tagline
Maybe
is.
our intro was just us trying to get one right.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a
TBH.
little meta for anybody watching. Sorry. Okay, so you had Kristen. The jury is in, and you're a bitch.
Yeah, when I become a lawyer and I quit my lawyer life to become a housewife, that's what my thing will be.
Yeah.
And then my fourth and final pick, who I have going the whole way, is Kayla. And I wrote Kayla, final, pickup truck. And I wrote final so that I would remember that she was my number one pick. And I wrote pickup truck and I remember. So
I really like Kayla. I love that she showed up in a pickup truck, that they bonded over being from North Carolina, that they had the sweet tea. I think that was like 10 out of 10, a solid showing for Kayla. I was like, damn it. I wish she had made it from my long list to my short list.
Well, the reason why and I don't remember why I picked any of the other people on my list, but I do remember picking Kayla because she said she likes tailgating or some like sports thing. And I was like, oh, he's gonna like that. Like, but
he's a football star or whatever.
Yeah, but I was kind of worried because like sometimes sports guys like sports girls, but sometimes sports guys just want like pretty not sporty
Sometimes
girls.
they want a sports girl and sometimes they just want a cheerleader. And
exactly. And it's
not to say that cheerleading isn't a sport. Don't attack me.
Right.
But they want that image of the cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like the perfect nails, coiffed girly girl.
A cheerleader in the sense of like that. Remember that song that came out when we were in college that was really, really bad and I hated it. And it was just about this guy, like, I don't know.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
And he was like, I'm in love because this girl just supports me for every single thing that I do.
I was like, that sounds like a terrible relationship. Are you supporting her? Probably not.
I know. And who knows? Again, I'm making these generalized statements. I haven't like properly analyzed the lyrics or the background context of that song, but that's what I think about.
Yeah. Are we going to get sued because I sang that?
No.
I think it was off key. So.
I don't think anyone can tell. Just kidding. I knew exactly. You sang it right. Yeah, remember when I said that no one will like me if I was a bachelorette because I'm mean? That's why.
Okay, but you have a solid team.
I think I do. I actually feel really good about my picks this year. And
that's good. So one of our friends who was my college roommate, shout out to Olivia Tompkins. We love her a lot. Unfortunately, has not only lost 2 members of her team, one of them was her final winner. So statistically, she is out of the running on night 1. This is a fun caveat for our league. Since we do blind drafts, so we draft based on bios. We used to watch limos. That wasn't fair to people who didn't have cable, whatever. But we draft based on bios. If someone loses their entire team on night 1, they automatically get to redraft from who's ever left at the end of the first episode. This rule was put in place because in the first year of our league's inception, back when it was 3 people, I lost my entire team on night 1. It was Rachel Lindsay's season. I threw it all away on a soccer player named Christian or something. I don't know. It wasn't my best.
I thought
salsa dancer.
Oh, salsa dancer. I almost said pizza man, but that's from the other show.
That's the other show. Yeah. Hayley and I are also very interested in the NXIVM cult. We can do a side
cult in general. So if you have any fun cult stories, leave them in the comments.
Yes. So what was I saying? Oh, you have a solid team. You're doing great. You didn't lose anyone. OT lost 2 people, and like, I'm really sorry to her.
But okay, tell me your other picks.
Okay, so I have, as we've discussed, Kristen and Bree, which is the overlap with your team. Mm-hmm. My winner, Abigail, and Chelsea. The beautiful
Oh,
8-foot tall
okay.
supermodel
Okay.
showing up in the most iconic
Okay.
Bachelor outfit I've ever seen. Also, the only
Okay.
person Matt didn't have to do a squat to kiss.
So, I wrote a note for Chelsea and I wrote, Chelsea, holy shit, that dress. Because, oh my God, she is
Shit, that dress.
so pretty. And that dress,
I've
look,
never seen someone wear a dress that way.
oh
She just
my
like, it
God.
looked like it was part of her body, the way that she was just so
No.
confident and it fit perfectly. I
Mhm.
need to know if she has a tailor and if they will do work for me because,
For free.
yeah, oh yeah, I don't have money.
I know, I know. That was incredible. She walked out and I was like, oh my
Literally said the audacity of this bitch to show up on a night where everyone is basically wearing like Revolve in long, dress
Mhm.
form.
Yeah,
And she shows up in something that looks like it's couture straight off the
I
freaking runway. How much do you
know.
want to bet that's like a sample from one of the shows she walked in?
Yeah,
It has to be.
probably. It has to be. It was I mean, it was just so pretty. I couldn't get over it. And she is so pretty. Ugh.
I love her.
Honestly,
Yeah.
we had talked about this. I didn't pick her because she I have the tendency of thinking people are too good for The Bachelor. Like
Yes.
there are people that I pick because I think they will do well, and there are people that I like, but I think are too good for this show, and she is one of them. I could tell
Yeah.
from reading her bio and looking at her face, I was like, "Girl, why are you on this show? Because you are perfect in every single way."
Right? Yeah. Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
So I look forward to updating all of America that watches us on YouTube, which is just Hayley and I, plus maybe my mom, um, about my wins through the season because I have an all-star cast, guys. All-star.
Okay, I mean, no one likes a bragger, but okay.
It's fine, guys. Okay. So final thoughts about The Bachelor, because this has probably been like an hour and a half at this point, and
Yeah.
the only people still watching are just us.
Yeah.
Matt is boring.
Yeah, okay, so I also forgot that he hadn't been on the show
Yeah.
before, which you probably were thinking when I was texting you earlier, like, "Haley, he hasn't been on the show before, of course I don't know who he is," and I was like, "You're cheating, you know who this is." Um, so
I
I
know
forgot
who
that
he is because I follow Tyler Cameron and Hannah
part.
Brown, and they were all quarantining together. So when he was
Oh.
cast in The Bachelorette, which is how he originally came into the universe, he was cast
Mm.
for Claire's season, Claire Asia. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. And then I guess ABC woke up and realized there was racial discord in America, and they decided to pull him from Bachelorette and cast him as the first black lead, or first black male lead.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only way I knew him. That's it. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, we'll see if that helped at all,
it's
but
so boring.
I know.
If I hear how perfect he is one more time, I'm gonna pull a Nene Leaks. I'm gonna pluck off all of my toenails one by one, put my feet in the sandals, and go walking down the street. Absolutely not. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I was interested to see, like, what his, like, storyline was going to be, and I know it was going to be something about race, but I think his storyline is going to be, like, "I've never done this before, and none of these girls have been here before, so we're all doing this for the first time," which
We're
is
figuring it
so
out together.
boring.
He's so boring.
So boring. I mean, he's really hot.
Oh yeah, and he does that annoying thing that all hot guys do, where they like bite their lip.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Oh,
Wait, I think I wrote did I? Oh my god, I did. Okay, so I usually don't okay, we've already discussed, not on here, but, like, in text, how ridiculous the Bachelor B-roll is, and I usually
oh
hate,
yeah.
like, them, like, in the gym, and I don't like I mean, if you're a guy and you go to the gym, fine. I don't wanna see it. I don't care. It's gross.
Yeah.
Because you do you're it's just weird. But I one of the notes I wrote was when Matt was in the gym, and I just wrote that body because
That body.
that body.
I saw someone on social media make the joke that when women do the run and jump this season, they're gonna like break their bones when they hit him because that man is just muscle.
I know. And it's usually like
imagine cuddling with that. It's gonna be like cuddling with a stone statue. It's not comfortable. I need a little pudge to keep me warm at night.
Oh man. But I mean, he's nice to look at though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain about looking at him, but also he dresses so well.
Yeah,
All of the B-roll of him, he is impeccably dressed. There's one part where he's like up in the plane at the beginning of the episode. He's wearing this beautiful mustard turtleneck with like a blazer or something. Maybe he's not in the plane at that moment, but the man knows his color wheel.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Sure. For sure. Totally agree.
I think those are all of my thoughts. Oh, other than this will be my last thought. I did the thing which I'm always doing and which other people may steal from me when they are bored in, staff meetings or conference calls of trying to cast the movie about whatever it is that you're doing. So like if I was casting this, who would play you? Yes, I do this in meetings all the time.
Wait, shut up. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hilarious. So some of the calls, wait, no, I can't cast you. That's too hard. It's hard. You're so unique. Let me think about it. It has to come to me organically. Like I can't be like put on the spot. But Queen Victoria looks like Beanie Feinstein from Booksmart.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God, she does.
Yep. I'm looking through my notes to find the other people. Oh, I already made the Kit Jenny from Gossip Girl, Taylor Momsen comparison. Rachel kind of looked like a whiter version of Priyanka Chopra. You can't think of who Rachel is, but they have like the same. They have like the strong jaw area with the same kind of like features. So there's that. And Anna gave me Tinsley Mortimer vibes. Anna's the girl that got the last
caffeine girl. Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think those are all of the casting decisions I made.
Anyway, do you want to see how far I made these socks? Because I put a huge dent in them. You're going to be so surprised at how much I knit during this little conversation that we just had.
The sock is done.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Wow.
I think
all I did was drink one glass of water.
Hey, it's more than I drank. All I drank was
that's true.
Like 8 ounces. So
oh my God, don't show me water. I have to pee.
I don't know why I did that. Oof. Okay, well, thanks everyone who watched. If you made it to the end, congrats. If you just fast forwarded it until the end, still congrats.
Yeah, thanks for hitting us with those views.
Yeah, I mean, like, subscribe, and comment, like, subscribe. We're really vain, so you have to help us out with that. But
we will text each other every time there's a new view, so please help us have something to talk about.
This is true. This is true. But yeah, thanks for doing this, Katie. I love doing it. It's always a pleasure, and
it's a pleasure, a joy.
You.
Wonderful.
Anyway, all right, we should go now. Bye.
Yep. Bye.